Welcome back to Remember Me, part 4. So after dealing with those guards, let's continue to our target. And yeah, more foreshadowing for the boss of this chapter.
Let's continue on through the adventures of the weird mashup between Tron and Star Wars for its music.
Well, more than Tron, as I told you, Dweebs, it takes inspiration from Total Recall and a bit of Blade Runner, even though it's more colorful thanks to his presentation. It still has those moments where it's more dark and there are lots of neon lights and stuff like that. Anyway, this is our target, Carrie Sheridan. It's an architect, and there you go. We need to steal specific memories from it. Edge gave us specific instruction. Also, she's using Minority Report holograms.
So, oh no, wait, that's a different version of Carrie. Sorry.
Where was I already? The dam?
Lucy Liu.
No, unfortunately not.
Is that it's Lucy from what's that Scarlett Johansson movie called? Lucy, is it
Lucy?
Called? Yeah, okay, Lucy.
The one with Morgan Freeman, the stupid movie about your brain percentage. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got it, but something is cutting out Edge's signal. So we need to switch places quickly in order to try to establish contact.
You went right through the sign, you vandal.
That's because it's holograms and shit. It's also a good representation of how everything about the sensitive theoretical. Fuck! Basically, the gist of this billboard is that you need to jump in and move when these single panels are not rotating, because despite being holograms, apparently they make you lose your grip. Don't ask. So you need to precise the timing. Fuck!
The timing,
makes no
fuck.
sense, but sure.
Basically, it's a classic platforming challenge, but it is especially aggravating, and it's not like he's that predominant in that game. Your suffering, my suffering amuses you, dweebs.
When doesn't it's British humour, Tio. Suffering almost always.
You know what they say, Teo? Comedy comes from suffering.
Suppose.
That's why Takeshi's Castle is popular around here.
There you go, there's the Tour Eiffel in the background, totally a French game.
Dweebs likes a Japanese piece of media that is not translated, or should I say dubbed in English. Oh my god, that's the apocalypse.
What was that again?
Hell is froze over.
Dweebs likes a piece of Japanese media that is not dubbed in English. Oh my god, the apocalypse is coming.
What media was it again that you were referring to?
Takeshi's Castle. You just said it. Takeshi's Castle.
No, Pedro. Actually, the footage and audio is in Japanese. We just have English commentary.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Anyway, where we are at the dam, we should be able to contact Edge from here.
The world is safe. You know, I've met Shiroi twice and the world hasn't ended.
There you go,
yet,
there's
so.
Notre Dame in the background. Why we decide to build a dam near Notre Dame, I don't know.
Cue the choir.
Edge, I read you. I got around kids' malware. Send me the codes. Hurry.
So can we find Clopin telling the story somewhere in here to the kids?
Unfortunately, no.
All that's left to do is to hack into the Sam
And unfortunately, the boss has found us.
You terrorists are shameless. Nilin, all these years and still choosing the losing side.
We know each other.
You were one of the best memory hunters ever. Big girl. Maybe the best. But you took a different road. And look where that got you. A criminal. Hunted. And a head full of holes. Political ideals are so last millennium.
You always waste so much saliva. Or is it just when you're on the air?
You always had that cocky, loudmouth thing going for you.
That doesn't sound cocky to me.
Here we go. Complete with personal holographic arena.
Well, that's quite an entrance.
Remember, he's basically at the same time as doing his captures, he films them like YouTube lives.
So it's like a.
Imagine Dweebs,
equivalent
if that annoying kid that does Twitch live streams about Minecraft decided to become a bully and beat the living shit out of people.
That's basically what this is.
Anyway, the gist of it is that you cannot attack Kid normal. You have to forcefully use a Sense and Fury to break his guard down. It starts off obviously beating the shit out of
Kid
him.
Christmas.
Yeah, honestly, I agree that it's a very stupid name.
Well,
Unfortunately,
Well,
again,
France are
it
the
just
kings
remains
of
a small segment, so go ahead, Dweebs, sorry.
France are the kings at making stupidly fun stuff. So
Ow.
this is video games.
Anyway, unfortunately, in these cases, you cannot hit him with your normal combos. You actually have to wait for the Sense and power up to cool down before hitting me again. So it's just a question of driving. I thought I could try spinning up by hitting normally, but unfortunately that doesn't work, and it counterattacks every once in a while. So it's a bit of a tedious, but honestly, it's still a good boss fight in my opinion, because it's a good summation of the combat that you know so far and how to use it. Next phase.
Okay, you've earned a taste of kids' hammers.
Hammers.
Also, well, okay, Sheer is not here because obvious Doomfist joke is obvious.
Obviously.
Basically, now he has this new weapon, the Spammer, which is basically a gun. Don't ask why. It's basically a gun that functions with a sensing system. So again, theoretical level. So what you need to do is still beat him. Unfortunately, he will mix up his current melee attack with shots from the Spammer. So you actually need to dodge more of the arena. A good strategy, obviously, is trying to stay close to him and just trying to hit him. But obviously he can counterattack and be a bit unpredictable, so keep still your wits about it. Here we go. Thankfully you can use your healing presence to shorten to still regain health. And if you can manage your timing well, your cooldown present to shorten also your power-ups. But again, it's not that recommended, especially in harder difficulties, to go against him charging as blazing. Anyway, third phase.
Well done, big girl. You're through to the final segment of the show.
Shut up and fight.
Excellent proposition. It's time for sudden death!
Okay.
Alright.
Kids' Christmas. You gotta admit, got grit.
Anyway, third phase is pretty much the same, but it will be much more aggressive and mix up his stuff.
Boom, right there.
Anyway, and click.
Why does this look like a Resident Evil boss?
It's more like a reference to, again,
Because
stuff like
Capcom?
God Hand. Yeah, it's more like a reference to stuff like God Hand, or even the old beat 'em ups like Final Fight.
It kind of looks like a discount Nemesis.
Not really, it's just a big human. It basically does this wrestling show, Deji. It's kind of like he works as an agent of Memorize and captures criminals, but in order to be, eccentric, he puts up this arena every time and films everything like it's a YouTube show. Anyway, time to finish him with another QT.
Okay, that's actually a crazy, wacky motive.
Alright, time to actually... Well, it's been fun, but we actually need to kill him.
I'm still on the losing side.
No, not here. Not in front of my fans.
Sorry, dude, you should have fought it. Here we go.
Sorry, fans, but the show's been cancelled.
Forever.
Ma
You know, unless we get a sequel.
Well, no, that this bitch is dead. Or more like in a vegetative state. And then, thanks to this, we actually acquired the spammer, which is, as I mentioned, is essentially a theoretical gun. As such, we cannot we can still target, people, but it's still functioning in a theoretical way because it afflicts their sense and not their physical body. So you cannot say like you headshot people because of it. And this gets useful in order to activate some buttons that are like up in the air.
The error's counterattack will begin in just a few minutes.
Alright. Basically, the Edge, for context, we stole the memories of an architect about a dam that's apparently protecting La Bastille, the prison, the famous prison of Paris. And, now that we defeated Kid, we just need to deactivate his virtual arena, and then Edge can activate his plan about the dam.
So,
And look at that, Edge, we're just under Notre Dame.
So, when does Edge come in to cash in his money in the bank to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion?
He's too busy. He's too busy hanging out with people like Shadow the Hedgehog or the protagonist of Hatred.
Yeah.
Wrong Edge.
Deji, he'll cash it in when Nilin's too exhausted to fight back.
Yeah.
There you go. We need to open that
That's
and
what he-
the
what he
chapter.
does.
Hold on, Weaves. Get ready.
This time, you'll remember me.
Roll credits. Oh no, the game is glitching. No.
Damn it, the music's broken again.
Anyway, time for a news broadcast.
Still not as bad as the way it's done in Watch Dogs.
Or in the game that probably did better to me was Batman Arkham Asylum.
What about the Rocky and Bullwinkle NES game?
No. Anyway, apparently Edge has decided to use the codes of the dam to actually open it and flood the entirety of the quarters of rich people. A lot of people died and basically everyone is homeless there.
But we're the good guys.
Technically, yes, but it's still an act of terrorism. Think of it like with the beginning act of Final Fantasy VII when Cloud and Barret blow up the reactor.
Yeah.
It's for the greater good.
Doing
Doing the right thing doesn't necessarily mean it'll be a good idea in the long run.
Yeah.
So they're like,
But basically, this in turn has freed, basically since the deck that was formed with the dam was artificial, this has freed the lower levels of Paris so we can use them to get into La Bastille. And no, there are no underground ruins apparently like in Lautrec. Anyway, we start in the next chapter. If you shut the door to all arrows, truth will be shut out. Rabindranath Tagore. It was a philosopher.
Don't worry, Tail. Don't worry, Tail. The track will come back as a pachinko machine.
Please never make that joke again. Especially since it's so 2015 now.
Hit the lever.
Why did I do what he asked?
Although Soul Calibur did come back in the form of a pachinko machine. So.
Fuck.
Yes, that's a real thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
After 5, the only thing we got was a free-to-play that was terrible and a pachinko machine.
To celebrate the 20th anniversary, no less.
so what, the pachinko machines kill your dogs or something?
No, but they basically means that almost the death of franchise because they're exclusive to Japan. With
you see, Dwebs, you have to understand that.
Market.
You have to understand, Dwebs, that the pachinko machine's market is where Japanese franchises go to die.
Unless you're Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
It's
Exoturn is the rare exception.
It's the equivalent of mobile spin-off titles for famous franchises, Dweebs.
Well, by
And I
that
don't
logic,
mean- I
Final
don't
Fantasy
mean-
would have
hold
died a
on.
long time ago.
Hold on, and I don't mean well because he actually had something else to go through. I mean stuff like Dungeon Keeper, you know.
High tension / deep.
Facts.
Well, it's like they couldn't choose the subtitle for the episodes. They just used both names.
It's what happened from the beginning, Dweebs.
But
When
it's
I go
like,
to Japan, I'm gonna have to try a pachinko machine, aren't I?
Be careful, Shiro. You're not allowed to do photos or filming.
Yeah, I
in the
know.
photos.
Yeah.
my biggest hope is to go to Japan during the Rugby World Cup
Tommy can help you get back inside.
Of course.
because England's in that one.
I thought you were gonna say Olympics.
No, we had
No,
to
they do the Rugby World Cup. Basically, it's the World Cup but with rugby. England's
Yeah,
always in it.
I know what that is. I'm just saying because 2020 is the Tokyo Olympics.
Anyway, we need to get back to the leaking brain. Tommy Headache Sbar, which is essentially
Tommy Headache.
Nilin's. Yes, Dweebs. We already mentioned his name in the previous parts. But basically, it's where not sort of a base of operation, but basically the next step of Nilin's journey. No squatting. Yes, Bob. I mean you. Yeah, it's that like this attention to details that kind of gives me a jiggle to this game. Also, more robo prostitutes. Anyway, we just need to move on first. I was searching because there is a collectible here to get.
You jiggle to this game, then, do you?
Anyway, there it is. A reset patch, which means extra life.
And you've got all of them.
Well, at least for this segment. Getting all of them grants you a trophy achievement. Anyway, it is introduced also to Scaramex, which are basically more collectibles, but in form of these little cutesy things that are scattered all around the levels, starting from here, obviously. And you have to use the spammer in order to just destroy them and gaining extra experience points. So very useful, both to collect because they unlock in the main menu some extra stuff like artworks and dioramas, and also they give you also extra experience points, which in turn unlocks you more presence in order to help you customize your combos. Anyway, this broadcast news sums up what happened. Kinky memory burglar. Yeah, moving on because it's repeating.
Bodywork and paint.
Hmm?
Just reading what it said.
Yeah. Again, the subtitles are so tiny and I don't understand why. It's not like the rest of the font in the game is little, no, it's pretty big enough to me.
Also, I think even the game's subtitles look a bit tiny.
That's what I was referring to, Dweebs. They compared the rest of the game's font size seemed to be good enough. Anyway, unfortunately, lowering the levels of the lower level of the water in the lower levels of Paris means that the leapers now have much more access to every area. So every area is also more infested by leapers right now. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with them a bit more now from now on in our journey. Anyway, here was just customizing the combos a bit. We still have to get the final type of present, which I think we'll get in the next part, which is Azure/light blue one, which allows us to, as I will explain in more detail later, to amplify the effect of a present that immediately precedes it. Anyway, for now, let's just beat these two leapers and we should be done for the part.
Take my techno beats, you punk. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's the thing, Dweebs. Despite not being that much physical, every punch still has an impact. There we go. We should be done. Anyway, in the next part, as I mentioned, we'll reach back Tommy's bar, the leaking brain, and we'll see what to do from there. See ya.
See you then.
So, yeah.
Bye.